we get into the NFL postseason. Chargers, Texans, Saturday afternoon. Before that, or after that, will be Steelers-Ravens on Amazon Prime. Rematch of two games played during the regular season. They split. Zay Flowers isn't going to play. He suffered a knee injury during the 35-10 win over the Browns in Week 18. Who's your X factor for the game to be played between Baltimore and Pittsburgh?
I would say Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is the X factor. And the biggest thing with him is, can he get his team back focused, back motivated, back playing together, back communicating on the defensive side of the ball? But it's Mike Tomlin. And we always give him credit for all these consecutive winning seasons. But this is a time now. This is a team that you've beat before. You got to be able to motivate your team and speak belief in them so they can really step up their game and win this game. So to me, it's Mike Tomlin. And can he get these guys ready to compete?
I've been saying this week, Rodney, that the loser of this game, I'm going to watch the coach to see if maybe the time has come for a fresh start. John Harbaugh has been in Baltimore forever. Mike Tomlin's been in Pittsburgh a year longer than forever. Last year there was some rumblings about what's Tomlin going to do. And if the Steelers lose, now I'm told that Harbaugh under no circumstances will be out in Baltimore if they would lose the game. Tomlin, I don't know. 5 straight losses to finish the season if they lose on Saturday night. And I'll take Tomlin and I'll say the X factor also is George Pickens. And part of it is Tomlin's got to get through to Pickens. Pickens didn't play the last time that Baltimore and Pittsburgh got together. He's been an X factor when he's out there. Single coverage, Russell Wilson spots it, throws it deep, makes the catch. We saw him have a chance to make a catch against the Bengals, and he didn't. He's the guy that if the Steelers are going to score enough points to overcome the Ravens, he's the guy that's got to step up and have a big game. With the season riding on it, his second contract may be riding on it, his future in Pittsburgh may be riding on it. Pickens needs to have a big game for the Steelers. Go ahead.
And Mike, I agree with you. Mike, George Pickens, man, he's got all the talent in the world. We go out there often and we watch this kid play. And they tell me, says, hey, this is a kid, once he learns that, hey, I have to be on time, I have to do the little things, I need to show up in the weight room, the kid is going to really take it to the next level. But he's so immature and he's so caught up with things on the football field, it's hard for him to focus. So to me, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, just in the future, I'm looking at a different receiver. I'm looking at a guy maybe like a T. Higgins, somebody that can come in and show me a level of maturity and just growth. And this kid is just too up and down. And when you look at the Steelers offense, it's too Russell Wilson. It's just, if it's not a deep pass one-on-one down the sideline, he struggles getting the ball out quick. He struggles getting the ball out, the 5-yard outs, the curl routes, the quick passing game. That's something that really he struggles with. And I think that's a big factor with this offense. If it's me, I'm putting Justin Fields in and I'm going to run the football. I'm going to play good defense and I'm going to try to keep the Baltimore Ravens on the sideline.
Justin Fields has not played very much at all since Russell Wilson took over as the starter. We thought there would be more of a package, and this is it. The season is riding on it. Mike Tomlin believed that Russell Wilson would be the ticket to get them to a Super Bowl. First, you got to get past the Ravens. They need to do anything and everything they can to win this game, and I am astounded that Mike Tomlin hasn't been able to accelerate the maturation process of George Pickens. If Mike Tomlin can't do it, I don't know if anyone can. Look at Chase Claypool. When he washed out of Pittsburgh, he was never able to get his footing anywhere. They can draft highly talented receivers, but a lot of them need that maturity. And for some of them, it just doesn't come, or it comes a little too late. Chargers, Texans. Who's your X factor there?
The Chargers, Texans. And for me, it's for the Chargers, it's who's going to be that number 2 weapon. We know Lat McConkey. We know what he's going to be able to do in the slot and how well, they run the ball when J.K. Dobbins is there. But to me, in the passing game, I've always said if the Chargers want to go on and move forward in the playoffs, they can't be this conservative team that just relies on their defense and runs the football. They're going to have to open it up, stop trying to be too careful with Justin Herbert and open up the game. And that's what it comes down to. Who's going to be that number 2 wide receiver, tight end, who's going to make that contribution in the passing game? But also for the Texans, to me, it has to be Danielle Hunter. He's got to be the guy. He's been overlooked. He should have a chip on his shoulder right now. He's had a tremendous season, a bunch of sacks, double-digit sacks. He's had a ton of pressures, but a guy that's not a self-promoter, but a guy that plays extremely hard, but he has to be a difference maker as well, Mike.
For me, it's the same guy on each team. It's the top running back. It's J.K. Dobbins, who's questionable with an ankle injury, and it's Joe Mixon of the Texans. Because the times they've leaned on Mixon in Houston, and he's had a good game, and it's not just his fault. The blocking sometimes isn't there. When the running game is there, that helps that offense, and I think they get away from it too often. And there have been nights when maybe they should have leaned on Mixon even more. If they would have leaned on him more in the game against the Lions, maybe they wouldn't have blown that 16-point halftime lead. Flip it over to the Chargers, and it's been more of an injury issue, but when Dobbins is healthy, Dobbins is damn effective, and that makes that offense go, and it makes it easier for the number 2 weapon and the number 1 weapon in the passing game to do something because they're focused on Dobbins. So, to me, the team that can get production out of the running game and commit to the running game is going to be more likely to win the Chargers-Texans contest that starts off the postseason, tomorrow afternoon. The last one in the AFC happens on Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern in Buffalo. Broncos 10-7, Bills 13-4. Bills favored by 8.5. Who is your X factor there?
I would say the Bills running backs, man. And James Cook, he's had a career year. He's been unbelievable the way he's looked. But also you get Ty Johnson catching the ball out of backfield. He gives you something a little different, a guy that can come in and, do a lot of things and just allow your running back situation to be good. I like these. I think they have 3 really good running backs, and I think that will be the X factor on Sunday.
Yesterday, Sims and I talked about the importance of the 3-headed monster at running back for the Broncos, that they need to rely on those guys, slow the game down, keep Josh Allen on the sideline. In the passing game, though, Marvin Mims has kind of stepped up this year in passing and return game, but Courtland Sutton is that guy. And I remember when they beat the Bills in Buffalo on that Monday night last year, Courtland Sutton's just that guy that, will jump up and grab a ball out of nowhere, big play every game. They're going to need a big play or two from Courtland Sutton if they want to go in there and upset the Bills the way they did on that Monday night. Remember that game? The missed field goal, but the Bills had too many guys on the field, and then they got the second chance, and the Broncos won. And then the next day they fired Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator, because it was his fault. There were 12 guys on the field, apparently, for the field goal block. So hopefully, it's weird. You think about it. The Broncos under Sean Payton, they've gone to both Buffalo and Kansas City the last 2 years and had them beaten. They won the one in Buffalo on the screwy field goal thing, and they lost the one in Denver because they couldn't keep a field goal from being blocked, or in Kansas City, because they couldn't keep the field goal from being blocked. So this team is good enough to win in Denver. Why do I keep saying the game's in Denver? In Buffalo.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
But I would say this.
And if they do it, they're going to be very dangerous the next week.
And I would say this, defensive coordinator Van Joseph also has to be an X factor. I mean, this defense has been up and down. At times we've seen this defense play on an outstanding level, and they got some talent on this defense. But we've also seen this defense look like, what the heck happened to this defense? So for me, it's Vance Joseph. Can he get this defense playing on a level of consistency? Because dealing with Josh Allen, you got to deal with the run, the pass, and what he does. And you also have to deal with those conditions. It could easily be 5-10 inches of snow, and they feel very comfortable playing in 5 or 10 inches of snow, which is a distinct advantage for those guys.
Man, I wish we had that game, and I wish you'd be up there freezing your butt off in Buffalo. You won't be in Tampa Bay. Hey, you get to just walk outside. You get to freeze in Atlanta.
Hey, man, I'm in Tampa Bay. We're chilling. It's going to be 70 degrees, and it's, that's the way we need to do it sometimes.
Hey, one last thing about Vance Joseph, because he's under consideration for some head coaching opportunities. I was talking to somebody last night who said he is not paying any attention to that whatsoever. He is fully focused on this game, and that's good news because Sean Payton talks from time to time, and he just said it the other day, about the distractions that arise when you're trying to get ready for a playoff game and you got assistant coaches who are interviewing for jobs. There aren't enough hours in the day to do both. Because there's one job that you have as you're getting ready for a playoff game. It's get your defense or offense ready if you're the coordinator. And when you go home, and it's funny and it's true, when you go home at night, your wife doesn't say to you, how's the game plan coming for the playoff game? The first question is, well, have you heard anything about that head coaching job? What do you know about the schools in this next city we're going to be moving to? Because they all want to get to the point where they're making Rodney Harrison money. Plain and simple. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.